All right, good morning, Arun. My name is Emile Abou Saleh. I'm the Regional Director for Proofpoint Middle East, Turkey, and Africa. I'm the Regional Director for Proofpoint Middle East.
What do you do? Do you do sales?
So I'm responsible for the sales in the region, for Proofpoint sales in the region.
Okay, describe to us the product portfolio. What exactly is included in the Proofpoint? What is selling more in the region?
Proofpoint is a leading cybersecurity company. We focus on the organization's biggest threat and important assets, which are the people. So we help organizations protect their people. As a company, we started our DNA as an email security company. We started 17 years ago to provide email security, and then after that we evolved and we became one of the leading cybersecurity company. So we provide email, as I mentioned. We also have cybersecurity solutions where we help security awareness, for example. We also have digital risk, where we help organizations to know what's been said or what's happening in the digital media around their organizations. We also have, for example, now with the digital transformation and companies moving to cloud, we have a CASB solution where we can provide companies visibility on their access to the cloud, on the people and the application that are being accessing the cloud.
So CASB is quite different from email security, right?
Sorry, I have
the CASB solution
the CASB
is quite different from the email.
CASB, yes, it is a different solution than email security solution. CASB will provide organization visibility on what applications are being connected or using the cloud and what data is being transferred to the cloud, and then it will provide the companies the ability to prevent access to specific applications and to specific access to specific applications to the cloud.
So tell me, all this looks like quite a diverse range of analytics and control. Who is it actually targeted for? Is it the CISO, the IT manager? Who actually benefits from these solutions?
With the change in the cybersecurity threat landscape, we see the hackers today targeting the people. So be it the CIO, be it the HR, be it the financial guy, it's always targeting the people. So the threat landscape has changed. We see now the bad guys, the criminals and the hackers attacking the people who've got access to the data, the people who will provide them access to what they want. So for example, we might see very important people in a specific organization. In the past, they used to be the target. While these days, we see people who've got access to the data who might be important, like, for example, a financial controller, someone who can do, for example, transactions, someone who has got access to the data, and those are the targets these days.
Okay, so tell me in terms of the region, where is the demand in this? Is it for the private sector, public sector, schools? Which market segments are using this actively these days?
That's a very good question. Actually, when we look at the threat landscape, we see that everyone is targeted these days. With the digital transformation move, and we see organizations, they can be the next victim at any point of time. As long as they don't, in case they don't have a plan in place, they can be the next victim. And as I said, everyone is targeted, everyone can be the next victim. So the challenge here is to educate our people and to increase the awareness level. And here is where Proofpoint can come into play and can help those organizations. With the solution that we have, the security awareness training, we can help organizations improve the security awareness level, and we can help the people prevent being the next victim. So we can educate the users and we can enable them to avoid what are, for example, the phishing emails that they receive, so they don't have to provide their credentials, they don't have to provide confidential information. So when they receive, for example, an email with an attachment, they don't have to click on the attachment or open the attachment or click on the link in that email. One thing that we all have to remember, that email is still the #1 threat vector. And when we look at that, and keeping that in mind, so we see the challenges and the problem. Many organizations are facing the challenges when it comes to the awareness level of their people. So this is where we can help those organizations. We can increase the awareness level, and people can differentiate between the good emails and the bad emails, so they can prevent being the next victim.
So you mentioned about training. So this is human engineering. I mean, phishing is basically a human engineering exercise to get you to click because of some related factors, like if you are doing, somebody says your income tax return has been stopped, and they incentivize you to click on the mail, which is a phishing mail.
Correct.
So are you targeting your training and the HR? Is it IT type of training? Is it HR type of training? Is it general organization? Who's the target audience for these sort of workshop?
The Proofpoint security awareness training is actually targeting every single employee in every organization. It's not only limited to HR or to finance or to the C-level or the leadership team. Because at the end of the day, someone can be sitting in an engineering department, for example. Let's take, for example, innovative companies where they are working on a new program or a new software. That engineer who's working on that specific software, they have, for example, the code and they know the codes of that program. So those can be the victim. They're not the very attacked people, but they are very important people and they can be very attacked as well. So we focus on the people-centric approach, and this is where we help organizations. And the training is an online platform where we can help those organizations increase the awareness level.
You mentioned about CASB, so this is basically a solution for the CIO, right?
CASB is a solution for every organization. It will provide companies visibility on what access the organization and the people have got with the cloud application.
So what is driving the demand for your solutions in the region? Is it because of the IT transformation, or is it because of more mobility? What are the key factors?
The key factor that is driving our solution, when we look at it, email is still the number one threat vector. And when we look at the business compromise email and organizations with the digital transformation move and the 5G, we see organizations getting ready, but at the same time, they have the cybersecurity challenge which comes into the play. So they want to move with that digital transformation, but at the same time, they have the challenge of the business email compromise. So imagine, for example, one of your business emails has been compromised. What would be the impact on the organization? I'll give an example here. Like this has happened to one of the customers. Before they were a Proofpoint customer, they were telling us this story. The CIO had a meeting with the CFO and the executive team. They had a leadership team meeting, and it wasn't their agenda. Apparently, the bad guys and the hackers managed to compromise their business email, and they had the visibility that the executive and leadership team were in an off-site business meeting. So they compromised their email, and they managed to send an email from the CFO to the finance guy and telling him, I'm in a meeting with the leadership team. We have this transaction for this supplier, $150,000 that's overdue. Please process this transaction for them. They're reminding me that they need the payment and they are in overdue, this is an overdue invoice. So the finance guy went and processed the transaction, and the impact was $150,000 loss. That's an example. We've seen many examples happening where Proofpoint can come into play. So this is where we can help. This is where we can have that visibility. We can help those organizations who are moving with their digital transformation to show them or to detect that this email has been compromised. This is a spoofed email. No, we will stop that email, we'll block that email, or if the email has got an attachment, for example, we can detect the content, we can see if this is a spoofed email or this is a malicious content, and then we can block it.